वाणी सुदर्शन चक्र की जय. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and Shri Jagat Shri Prabhupada Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare devotees, please accept my most respectful obeisances at your lotus feet. Please bless me so I can speak for the pleasure of the Lord and pleasure of the Vaishnavas. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesho Bhatresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Nuttama Shlokin Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Shinvatam Swakata Krishnaha Punya Shavana Kirtanaha Hridyantasto Bhadrani Vedanoti Suvritsatam. Share my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Please. Is this font is okay?
That's fine. That's fine.
Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 6, and Text 9. Satyatma sadhidhaivascha sadhibhuta iti tridha virat prano dashabhita ekata hridayena cha. Sadhyatma sadhidaivascha sadhibhuta iti tridha virat prano dashabhita ekata hridayena cha. Sadhyatma sadhidaivascha sadhibhuta iti tridha virat prano dasabhita ekata hridayena cha. Devotees.
Hare Krishna. Adhatma sha adhidaivascha sha adhibhuta iti tridha virat prano dasha vidha ekadha hridayena cha. Hare Krishna.
Sadhyatma sadhidaivacha sadhibhuta iti tridha virat prano dasavidha ekadha hridayena cha. Hare Krishna.
Sadhyatma sadhidevascha sadhabhita iti trida virat prano dasa vidha ekada hridayena cha.
Sadhyatma sadhidaivacha sadhibhuta iti trida virat prana dasa vidha ekadha hridayena cha.
Hare Krishna. You can go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Satyatma sadhidevascha sadhibhuta iti trida virat prano dasavida ekada hridayena cha. Hare Krishna.
साध्यात्मा साधिदैवश्च साधिभूता इति त्रिधा विराट् प्राणादशो विधा एकदा हृदयेन च हरे कृष्ण
You can go to synonyms. So I just wanted to tell, like, some of you spelled here is Trida. It is not Trida, it is Trida. And this is Virat. So wherever the dot is coming, then only we have to pronounce like that. Otherwise, it is Trida. Thank you. So we'll go to the synonyms. Sadhyatmaha, the body and mind with all the senses. Sa Adi Daivaha, and the controlling demigod. Let me reduce its font is. Okay, so and the controlling demigods of the senses, Cha and Sa Adi Bhutaha, the present objectives, Iti, thus, Tridha, three, Virat, gigantic, Pranaha, moving force, Dasa Vidaha, 10 kinds, Ekata, one only, Hridayena, living energy, Cha, also. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace. Havai Charanarvind A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: the gigantic universal form is represented by 3, 10, and 1 in the sense that he is the body and the mind and the senses. He is the dynamic force for all the movements by 10 kinds of life energy, and he is the one heart where life energy is generated. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 7.4 to 5, it is stated that the 8 elements, earth, water, fire, air, sky, mind, intelligence, and false ego, are all products of the Lord's inferior energy, whereas the living entities who are seen to utilize the inferior energy originally belong to the superior energy, the internal potency of the Lord. The 8 inferior energies work grossly and subtly, whereas the superior energy works as a central generating force. This is experienced in the human body. The gross elements, namely earth, etc., form the external gross body and are like a coat, whereas the subtle mind and false ego act like the inner clothing of the body. The movements of the body are first generated from the heart, and all the activities of the body are made possible by the senses, powered by the 10 kinds of air within the body. The 10 kinds of air are described as follows. The main air passing through the nose in breathing is called prana. The air which passes through the rectum as evacuated bodily air is called apana. The air which adjusts the foodstuff within the stomach and which sometimes sounds as belching is called samana. The air which passes through the throat and the stoppage of which constitute the suffocation is called udana air. And the total air which circulates throughout the entire body is called the vyana air. Subtler than these 5 years, there are others also. That which facilitates the opening of the eyes, mouth, etc., is called naga air. The air which increases the appetite is called krikkara air. The air which helps contraction is called kurma air. The air which helps relaxation by opening the mouth in yawning is called devadatta air, and the air which helps sustenance is called dhananjaya air. All these airs are generated from the center of the heart, which is one only. This central energy is superior energy of the Lord, who is seated within the heart with the soul of the body, who acts under the guidance of the Lord. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita 15.15 as follows. Sarvasya chagham priti sannivishto mata smrite dhyanam apohanam cha vedaisha sharvairahameva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chagham. The complete central force is generated from the heart by the Lord, who is seated there and who helps the conditioned soul in remembering and forgetting. The conditioned state is due to the soul's forgetfulness of his relationship of subordination to the Lord. One who wants to continue to forget the Lord is helped by the Lord to forget him, birth after birth. But one who remembers him by the dint of association with the devotee of the Lord is helped to remember him more and more. Thus, the conditioned soul can ultimately go back home, back to Godhead. This process of transcendental help by the Lord is described in Bhagavad Gita 10.10 as follows. Tesam satata yukta nam bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. The Buddhi Yoga process of self realization with intelligence transcendental to the mind, devotional service, can alone elevate one from the conditioned state of material entanglement in the cosmic construction. The conditioned state of the living entity is like that of a person who is within the depths of a huge mechanical arrangement. The mental speculators can reach the point of Buddhi Yoga after many, many lifetimes of speculation, but the intelligent person who begins from the platform of intelligence above the mind makes rapid progress in self realization. Because the Buddhi Yoga process entails no fear of deterioration or retrogression at any time. It is the guaranteed path to self realization as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 240. The mental speculators cannot understand that the two birds, Svetaswara Upanishad, sitting in one tree are the soul and the super soul. The individual soul eats the fruit of the tree, while the other bird does not eat the fruit but only observes the activities of the eating bird. Without attachment, the witnessing bird helps the fruit eating bird perform fruitful activities. One who cannot understand this difference between the soul and the super soul, or God and the living entities, is certainly still in the entanglement of the cosmic machinery, and thus must still await the time when he will be free from bondage. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय मुखं करोति वाचालं पुंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओम् तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. Translation. The gigantic universal form is represented by 3, 10, and 1 in the sense that he is the body and the mind and the senses. He is the dynamic force for all the movements by 10 kinds of life energy, and he is the one heart where life energy is generated. So, we are seeing the gigantic universal form of the Lord, and the explanation is given like how the Lord is being the source of everything. So in this verse particularly, Prabhupada talks about how here the 3 and the 10 and the 1. So basically the 10 is the gross elements and subtle elements, and the 1 is mind. So in this way, like all the elements which is coming from, everything is coming from the Lord, right? So the source is actually the Supreme Lord, and the dynamic force which is coming to act in all these senses or utilize all these senses, it is coming from the Lord. So this can be like, we can understand like how in the car, in the like how the piston is like different types of cars we know, like different which have like 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders, 8 cylinders. So what is the difference? Like the pistons will be pushing so that way it will go faster, and the rotation of the piston is getting from the battery, like that is the source which is coming. So similarly we can understand that how the piston is pushing, so with that air, like everything is like it is going fast. So similarly in our body also, so there are different types of air. The 10 types of air is explained: the prana, apana, vyana, samana. So these are the different types of air. So in very detail, like Prabhupada here gives that how, what are the different types of air, like whatever is coming through our breathing, which is called prana, and through our rectum is called apana, and then the when we burp, so that is called samana air. And then there is a air which passes through the throat, which is udana, and then vyana. And there is a air which is helping us to opening our eyes, opening our mouth. Like it's not, we can, okay, when I want immediately I can open. No, there is a air which is going through in our body that pushes, and that air is actually, we can able to open our eyes. So just actually Prabhupada is giving this much detail, so to explain that how complex this machinery, this is like a machine. This machine is working according to the energy which is coming from the Supreme Lord in the as a super soul. And this whole body is like a machine, it is working. Okay, if one air doesn't work properly, then we get all kinds of diseases, right? So in Ayurveda, they called pitta, vata, kapha, right? So these things are all how it is decided. Depends on how much air is going through our body. Like if the air circulation is not proper, so then we get all types of disease. Like if it is too much air circulation, then also we get disease. If it is like less, if it doesn't work properly, then we get disease. So it is a very complex system, right? So Krishna designed a very complex system. Why? To help us. Because if we want to eat, then that air have to properly circulate, so then only that whatever we are eating, it is going, and then the fire element has to digest it, so then it is actually sending out whatever the unnecessary things, and then it is transforming into blood, and so much it's going on. Like we can see how much detail Krishna is designed in this body in such a way that we can utilize this body, and whatever we wanted to perform, that Krishna is leaving to up to us, right? So many times we think that, oh, I am the controller, like I can do anything, like I don't need anyone's help, like I don't need God, like what God is actually doing here, right? So but we cannot even realize that if God thinks, then immediately, like we cannot even move our tongue. Like if once paralyzed, like we cannot even move our parts of our body. So where is that energy is coming? Like if I want to raise my hand, that also it is coming because Krishna is permitting that. Without Krishna's permission, so nothing is happening, right? So that is the one takeaway we can see from this whole purport, that Krishna is so kind. He actually wants to help us. So first of all, he doesn't uh, want us to be here, but still we want to enjoy without Krishna. So okay, so I'm giving us a very kind, loving Father that I will design in such a way that you can get whatever enjoyment you wanted to get. You can try it out, but at the same time, you cannot really get it. So he is just witnessing as the super soul in the body. So which is explained here from Svetashtra Upanishad, that two birds are sitting in the tree. So one bird is eating different types of fruits in the tree. Like one time it gets the sweet, one time it gets the sour, one time it gets the bitter, like different types of varieties of fruits it is tasting and tasting. And so this another bird is just looking and waiting when this bird will turn to me, and I can tell actually there is a one tree where you can get only sweet fruits. So I can take you there, but you're not turning to me. I cannot say to you. So it's actually waiting. The super soul is actually waiting for us that we will turn one day and we will say, Krishna, I am yours. You take me wherever you want. So that is the day Krishna is waiting. So that is the main purpose, that whenever we read, like sometimes we get bored. Like how many times Prabhupada will say, oh, you're not the body, you are the soul, and you are part and parcels of Krishna. So how many times we heard this, and how many times in Prabhupada purport it came, like why? Why it has to be repeated again and again? It's sometimes we always think, okay, yes, I understand that I am not the body. Then what next? So then what next? Like we always in the mode of passion, we think that, okay, I understand now everything. So now what's next? Okay, I want to chant. Okay, now I am chanting. Next, what is next? Okay, I have to get initiation. I get initiation. Okay, and what is next? Okay, I have to get second initiation. Okay, I get second initiation. So what is next? Okay, I have to lead. Okay, some book distribution, Harinam Sankirtan. Okay, I will lead. So then what? So then what? Like this, always we are in that, okay, then what? What is next? What is next? But actually, the base have to be strong. If our base is not strong, we might looks like we are going through, we are performing different types of devotional service, and looks like we are progressing. Yes, of course, like we are doing different seva, we are progressing. But if we don't understand the basic thing, we might know, yes, we are understanding, yes, theoretically we understand, everyone understand theoretically, yes, we are not the body. But how practically we are understanding? How are we realizing that I am not the body? Are we acting still on the bodily consciousness, or I am acting on the soul consciousness? So how am I acting? Right? So especially like even bodily consciousness, like subtle body, like a gross body, somehow we can try to come out of the gross body consciousness, but subtle body consciousness is so difficult to come out of it, because especially the false ego, right? So the false ego. So that is why this in this creation, like it is explained, like when this jiva leaves the body, it has to cross, like it has to go, because the whole element, like it is first the earth element will be there, and then fire element will be there. So everything is 10 times greater than. So that is how the whole structure is there. So when we have to leave, so each and every element we have to cross. And the most difficult part to cross is the false ego. So because we always think that I am the doer, right? So even though we perform devotional service, so sometimes, yeah, we think that, yes, it is, I am not the doer, it's Krishna is doing. But then when some appreciation comes, so we have to think, like we have to see, am I putting myself there, or I am putting Krishna and Guru Vargas there? Right? So this is very practical whenever we are getting appreciation, or like we are getting very big seva. So are we thinking that it is a mercy coming through by our acharyas, or is it like, oh, I am qualified and that's why I'm getting this service? Right? So this kind of thought, like we have to really go deeper into ourselves and think. So it's all because of the mercy of the Lord. It is not because of my qualification, right? So Srila Prabhupada, I think we discussed this, like one disciple asked Srila Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, like how it is possible that we are chanting, like we are from, like especially the Western disciples, so we are from the Western body, and there is no chance of getting into bhakti, but somehow like now we are chanting and we are following. So what is the qualification that we have? So Prabhupada said, you don't have any qualification. I gave that qualification to you. So this specific word that we have to meditate all the time when we perform our service. So it is not that we are qualified, that's why we are put into that service. Like most of the time we think that's the same. Okay, so like this is the service I do best. Not everyone can do like me. So that's why I am chosen for this service. So that's the mood that we used to get. And whenever the service is done nicely, and See if someone complained little bit in that service. Oh, Mataji, you're not doing like right. Oh, Prabhuji, you're not doing right. And if we are practicing for many years, if it is a neophyte devotee, then they will accept, oh, yeah, sorry, Prabhu, sorry, Mataji, I will try to correct. But if we are practicing for 10 years, 15 years, then that's it. Like if someone says something little, then we have to test, are we really advanced? Not advanced in years, but how much advanced in our bhakti, in our devotion, in our practice. So that's what it tells, like where we are. So when someone complains, immediately we try to retaliate. No, how come you can say that? Like, I didn't mean that. I was doing for this purpose. My intention is this. So we try to oppose and judge, or like we try to put ourselves that I am right, right? So this is this is the false ego. So this is a very tough point, that to cross this false ego. But of course, like we should not get discouraged. Definitely it is by the mercy of Krishna we got our guru, and by the mercy of guru we got all the Vaishnavas. And especially this another consciousness is that always we think that, oh, my guru is the best, and whatever my guru says I will follow, but I don't have to care whatever the fellow Vaishnavas what they are telling, right? So that kind of mood is also not mature. So we have to equally see our, actually more, our fellow Vaishnavas, because we are dealing with them every day. So guru is actually, we are, whenever we are trying to meet them, so that is the only opportunity we can see them. But other times, like we are actually dealing with the Vaishnavas. Our fellow Vaishnavas is the one who is actually helping us. So we have to behave in such a way that we get their mercy so that we can progress. Not that you are great or I am great, like this kind of competition mood, if we have, then it is very tough to progress in our spiritual life. And the very important point that what I heard recently in one of the lecture, that actually our key to the spiritual world is the one who is, we think that this is my enemy. If we think that, okay, she or he is my enemy, I like everyone else, but I don't like that Mataji alone. I don't like this Prabhuji alone. Other than that, everyone is good. So if we think someone, then we have to remember that that person is actually holding the key for our spiritual entrance. So if we think someone as an enemy, then we cannot enter into the spiritual world. So that's the main reason, that we have to see everyone equally, and we have to see everyone as Krishna's part and parcel, right? So when we don't have this understanding, so then we discriminate everyone, right? So, and of course, like when we see, like Srila Rupa Goswami Pad says, like-minded devotees, we have to associate with the like-minded devotees. So we cannot associate with everyone. So that doesn't mean that uh, we have to judge someone that, okay, you are low than me, so I will not associate with you. So, or you are greater than me, maybe I can associate. Not like in that judgmental mood, but very humbly. So we see that their interest is also in book distribution. Maybe I can also join. So that inspires me in bhakti. And they are also very nice in morning program sadhana. So maybe I will associate with them. So I get more inspiration. So that is our mood, like in our bhakti path, wherever we wanted to progress. So that is where we have to associate. That's what like-minded. It's not like we are judging someone. And also, if we think like, okay, so sometimes some scenarios happens that we never think anyone as an enemy, but sometimes like some devotees are not happy with us, and so what should we do in that case? So in that case also, like still we should respect them. If they don't like we should try to serve them as much as possible. So then we can develop our relationship. But still, if it is too much, like they doesn't like, and if it is going into an offensive conversation, so then better avoid and keep a distance and have a very humble respect for them. So this is very important. Like, it's not just with the devotees, I am telling, like, when we think if anyone is an enemy, even in the whole world, in the whole creation, so then that's it. Like, we cannot go back, because everyone is Krishna's children. So this is because if we see everything as a in the soul platform, then we can able to realize it. Otherwise, if we are seeing in still in the bodily platform, then it is very hard, because our bodily attachment is very strong. So that's why we are actually always looking favor for myself, for my family, for my society, for my country. So this is all extended selfishness. So Prabhupada says extended selfishness. So we have to try to get out of that, and we have to try to um, be in the conscious of seeing everyone as Krishna's children. So that is the only way we can able to get out of this ego. And also the another important point is our mind. So our mind is another, because generally it is mentioned that we might think, okay, why we are here in this material world. So some might say that, okay, I am here because of my karma, because of my sinful reaction, so that's why I'm here. And some may say like different reasons, but actually the reason is only mind. Our mind is the only reason that we are here. So I will say like how it is important, our mind. Like I heard in one of the lecture by His Holiness S.V. Keshav Swami Maharaj. So he was telling that in one of the person he wanted to join in a monastery, and he came and he said like, I wanted to join in your monastery as a monk. So at that time, like the head priest monk, so he said, okay, what you are best at it, like in whatever you are best, like let me know. And then he was thinking and thinking, and he said, I am best at chess. So okay, so then what he did, he called one of the old priest in that monastery, and then he said, okay, you have to play chess with him, and you have to win. And the condition is, if you win, you can join the monastery. If you don't win, and your head will be chopped. And same thing for the old priest also. If he win, then he will stay here. And if he doesn't win, then his head will be chopped. So then what happened? Like they started the chess game, and initially, like this person who wants to join the monastery, like it's like a life and death experience. Like because if he didn't win, then he will lose, right? So he was putting his full focus and attention in his game, and he was trying to play like as much as good, and then he was moving in a successful path. And then later on, like after some time when he was playing, and then he realized, okay, wait a minute, like now I am going to win in this way. If I play, definitely I'm going to win. But what will happen if I win? This old monk who actually dedicated his whole life for so many years, he was performing this for this good for this society. And so whether for my selfishness do I want to kill him? So this is not fair. So my his life is more valuable than my life. And then what happened? He slowed down, and he slowed down, and then slowly that old monk take over. And then he was about to win, he was about to put a check. So then this head priest came with a sword, and he actually very forcefully he broke the chessboard, broke the chessboard. So then the head priest said, okay, now you are qualified to join in our monastery. So this person didn't understand, like, why, what happened? Like, well, you set some condition, now why you are saying this? So then this person, he said, so initially, when there is a life and death experience, so you put your full focus, your mind is fully focused. right? So because as a monk, like our mind should full focused, our mind should be concentrated at one pointed attention. So that's what Srila Prabhupada always says, Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhihi Ekeha Kurunandana. So one pointed attention. So it should be there. That is one of the quality for being a monk. It's not just for the monk. Like I'm just telling with that story what Maharaj explained. So that is one quality that he had. So because he started with that, and then later on, it is not just enough to have one pointed attention, but also we should have a kind heart. So we should have a compassionate heart. So only if we have a compassionate heart combined with a focused mind, then we can do a magic thing in our life. So, and I see that you value the monks, the old monks' life greater than yours life, which is actually a compassion. And that is what it qualified for you to join in our monastery. So, this is what it happens. And so, from this, what we can understand is we should always remember our life in this human form of life, especially. It is like always a life and death. It's always there. It's not that, okay, we have some time. Like we never know. Any time the death is going to come. It is an emergency, life and death. We are in that corner, right? So we are waiting when we don't know when it is going to come. So we have to put our mind in full focus. Krishna, I want to meditate on you. I want to remember you because Anta Kalecha Mameva Smaran Mukta Kalevaram. So we have to remember Krishna at the time of death. If we can't able to remember at the time of death, then we cannot go back. So whatever we are doing, the seva, if that seva doesn't help us to focus our mind in our bhakti, instead if it is getting distracting, that means it is not wrong with the process, but it is the wrong that with our attitude. Our attitude is not correct. Somewhere the service what we are performing, so we are not setting the right mood, and that is why the process is reacting opposite, right? So we are not reacting properly, or our attitude is not correct, and we are thinking that I am the great, I am the doer. So that's why the process is, of course, like process will work, but it will be very slow. It is a very gradual process. So that's why to make a rapid progress, like Srila Prabhupada here, he mentioned that we have to bring our mind. Like here Prabhupada says that the intelligent person who begins from the platform of intelligence above the mind makes rapid progress in self-realization. So basically, first is like our mind and how our mind can able to follow, because in the hierarchy, so the soul is the main person who is like in the Bhagavad Gita book, we saw that the picture of the chariot rider and the soul is sitting, and then there is a person who is actually driving, and then there is a reins which is actually the mind, the reins or the mind. So the rope is the mind, and the horses or the senses, and the person who is riding is the mind, and sorry, intelligence. The who is riding is the intelligence, and the person who is sitting is the soul. So if we are not, how we can control the mind, right? So we understand that our mind should be focused. How we can control the mind? So that mind can be controlled by strengthening our intelligence. So our intelligence should be spiritualized. So because only our intelligence is satisfied, so then only we will try to follow anything, right? So if someone says, then immediately we will not try to start practicing. So we will think so many times whether this is going to work for me. So then if we are convinced, then only we are going to practice. So that means our intelligence have to get convinced. So now in the conditioned state, intelligence is not acting, only our mind is very active. So whatever our, and how the mind is active, whatever our senses are saying. Our senses are saying, I want this, I want that. Like immediately mind is saying, I want it. Like as a child is always asking, I want this, I want it. So our mind is also asking, I want this, I want this. And then intelligence say, okay, you want that? Okay, you go here and you do this. And this is all the intelligence is giving how to perform it. Right. So if we don't strengthen our intelligence with the spiritual knowledge, so then we will be following our mind. Then our mind is very danger. Krishna says, if our mind is the only reason we can able to become friend, if we make our mind as a friend, then it will elevate us. Then otherwise, our mind will become an enemy. Right? So our mind is the only reason. It actually accumulates so much of desires, and it is always asking this and that. But if we don't strengthen our intelligence have to tell our mind, look, this is the time I want to chant. Don't think about anything else. So our intelligence have to say, because we studied in Bhagavatam, we studied that this is the time we have to spend with Krishna. So if I spend this time very qualitatively with Krishna, then my whole day will be nice and I can able to remember Krishna, and that is the purpose of my life. So if we don't take it seriously and we just chant every day, we can chant even 64 rounds and without any mind, and our mind is thinking, okay, I will do this, next I have to do that and this, then our mind is not there with Krishna. So then how we can able to remember Krishna? Right? So these are the very important points that we have to take from this. And also I can see that how Krishna is saying that Krishna is the one who is actually giving that remembrance. Yeah, and if he wants us to forget, I mean, if we want to forget, then Krishna will provide that opportunity. So that is the reason that many people ask about Krishna's disappearance, right? So, oh, why? Oh, Krishna is ordinary person. See, that's why he was killed by a hunter, and that's why he killed. Like, it is for those person who doesn't want to understand Krishna as a supreme Lord. For them, Krishna created this situation. So it's for everyone, because Krishna loves everyone. So whatever they want, that Krishna is trying to provide that. And if you want to remember, Krishna will give all opportunity to remember. So, and also Krishna gave Buddhi Yoga. Tadami Buddhi Yogam tam yenamam upayantite. So Krishna give all intelligence. It's not that, oh, I cannot remember anything. I'm studying, but still I cannot remember anything. But if we sincerely desire, Krishna is seeing our sincerity from our heart. We don't have to say to anyone that I am sincere or not. Like Krishna knows us, how I'm sincere when I'm performing any seva, what is our motive, what is our intention in doing that seva. Krishna knows very clearly. So if we are very sincere, then Krishna will give that intelligence to perform anything, what we want in a right mood, everything Krishna will give. But only thing that we have to keep that desire to perform sincerely. So then Krishna will help. So, and Prabhupada ends here that one who cannot understand this difference between the soul and the super soul, God and the living entity, is certainly still in the entanglement of cosmic machinery, and thus he have to wait the time when he will be free from bondage. So this is another important point I want to touch base is, so we have to understand this basic first. So because most of the time we think that, oh, I want to understand now, like how many times we will hear, like, I'm not the body. I want to know, hear Ashtakaliya Leela of Krishna, that Krishna's eightfold pastimes with Radharani, and then I want to hear that Leela and this Leela. I always want to understand, like, I'm not the body, I'm not the body. What is going to happen? So, no, we have to understand what is our condition, what is our level, right? So without understanding our level, so we cannot jump, and we cannot think that now I want to understand, oh, now it is like very natural, right? We think, oh, now I got initiation, so that means I am in the I'm crossed bhajana kriya, and then anartha nivritti also almost I am done. Now I am in the ashakti, I am in the prema, I am about to get the prema stage. So you don't know, I'm practicing for so many years, and I am in like the bhava stage. Like, we tend to think these things like this is all very dangerous. This is actually a sahajya bhav. So Rupa Goswami Pad always warns us that we should never go to the Sahajya mode. That oh, I am the gopi now, I understand my original swarupa. So this is all, it is actually a disturbance to the society. Rupa Goswami Pad says in Nectar of Devotion, this is a disturbance to the society. This is not bhakti. So we should not try to imitate the gopis, and we want to show off that I am such a great devotee. So this is all like, why then our acharyas wrote so many bhajans saying that, oh, I am the most fallen soul and I'm so attached, like Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur bhajans, if we take like everything, it says like very beautiful bhajans that I'm not sure if I opened that bhajan. So let me quickly open that. It was a very beautiful bhajan, Bhakti Vinod Thakur bhajans. In that, specifically, one of the bhajans, I wanted to recite the meanings. So we can see in the meaning, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, this is a bhajan, Yavvana Jakona Dhana Uparjane. So in that he says, when I was young, I greatly desired to earn money. At that time, bearing in the mind the codes of religion, I took a wife. Together, we set up a household, wasted much time, had many sons and daughters. My heart grew heavy. The burden increased day by day. I felt my life at a standstill. Old age came, grabbed me, and made my mind fickle and disturbed. Diseases trouble me now, and constant anxiety has made me feverish. My heart burns from the lack of satisfaction, and I see no way out. All is darkness, and I am very much afraid. The current of this worldly river is strong and relentless. A frightening, gloomy death approaches. How I wish I could give up my worldly attachment. I would worship you, O Lord, but it is a useless hope. Now please hear me, O Lord, for I am utterly helpless. Bhakti Vinoda says, without your mercy, everything is lost. Please give me the shelter of your lotus feet. So if we think that we are now in the greater stage, we have to listen to the Radha Krishna Leela, then what to talk about our Bhakti Vinod Thakur? He is telling that I am so attached to my family, I'm so attached to my money, earning money and everything. So I wasted my life. Then what we are doing, right? So these are the meditation. Actually, these acharyas are actually feeling it. That's what they are telling. So we have to be always in that humble mode that I am not qualified. And it's not like we are low esteem ourselves, but at the same time, like we have to perform because Krishna is the one who is trying to give that intelligence. And like, because sometimes we tend that, oh, Prabhuji, I'm not qualified to do this seva. Don't ask me, please ask someone else. So this is like a escaping mentality. So that is also not good. So we have to be in both. Like if some service comes, we accept that, okay, Krishna and Guru will provide that intelligence. So let me serve you if that makes you happy. So that should be our mood. So, but always think that I am the humbler than the grass. So Trinatapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Savishnunam, Amanina Manatena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. So that's the only way. So we have to remember again and again and again and again. So that is the only way we can able to practice seriously and sincerely. So with this, I can stop here. Thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. Please forgive me if I say something wrong, but it is all up to applicable for me as well. So I am telling so that I can also practice sincerely. Thank you so much. Any questions or any comments anyone want to share? Okay, if no questions or comments, then we can stop
Thank you
here.
very much, Mataji.
Very nice class, Mataji. I appreciate all of your comments about the, how we can improve. And I was actually talking to my husband this morning about, how I was like, oh, I'm chanting, but I need to be so much better. I'm chanting. And I'm like, am I really engaged? So thank you for that reminder. It actually correlated exactly with my feelings this morning. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful class, as usual.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mother Shamala Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all. Mancha kalpatarupasya kripa
Sindhu Bhyaja,
sindhu Ananta Koti Vaishnav Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Very sweet class.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Mother.
Krishna.
Very nice class. And I like the point of air also. It helps in digestion, opening the eyes. I didn't know all those things.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.